Hi there, welcome to chendu.org. A couple of students from my VBA class have asked me a question that they have some data in an Excel file and they would like to split this data into multiple files. Now you can think of this as an opposite of consolidation. In consolidation, what we do is we take the data that is in multiple places and then we try to bring it all together either in a summary form or in the actual data form. Whereas in the reverse of the consolidation, I really have no idea what to call this, so I'm just calling this breaking data into multiple files. What happens is you have some data and you would like to split this data into multiple files. One of the very good reasons why I think somebody wants to do this is because they have all the data in one place and they would like to send individual feeds to various departments or various people or various projects. So for example, what I have here is some fictional sales data that runs from January 2007 all the way until till July 2009, and this data has a couple of columns just like many real life data sets. So we have salesman, region, product, and number of customers, net sales, and profit or loss per row. And this data goes on for I think several thousand rows. Yeah, not several thousand, at least 1,000 rows. And now what we want to do is we would like to take this data, and we know that there are 4 different salespeople: Joseph, Lawrence, Maria, and Matt. And we would like to split this data into 4 different files, one each per the salesman. Okay, once the splitting is done, we would have these 4 files in the same directory where our break data example file is stored. Okay, then we would do whatever we want with these files. For example, we would email them, or we would place them in a network drive, or we would just save them for backup and archival purpose. Okay, now let me first show you a demo of how this breaking data thing works, and then I will walk you through the VBA code that I have used to do this. As you can obviously guess, such breaking of data is not possible without VBA, because Excel by default doesn't support this kind of functionality, at least as far as I know. But using a simple VBA code that's probably 10 or 15 lines, you can very quickly extract the data and split it into multiple files. Just to show you how this code is working, I'm just going to keep the folder open as well. So this is the folder where I have saved the break data example file. You can see that some extracts have already been generated as of 19th October morning 6:53 a.m. Right now it's about 7:30 or 7:40. So I'll just come back to our Excel file here, and I'm just going to click extract button. Okay, I'll click the extract button and I'll jump over to the break data example. And as you can see, Excel right now there are about 8 files created here. The extraction is done, and you can see that at 7:44 we have created a file named Joseph 19 October 2011 7:44:17. And if I double click and if I open that, you can see that all the data for Joseph alone, nothing else, right, only for Joseph, has been extracted out and placed here. So this would probably have like 250 rows, 270, and only for Joseph. I'm just going to close this, and let's come back here and understand what is going on. There is a technique in Excel called as advanced filter, and we are using that. With advanced filter, the thing is very simple. This is our data, and I set up a similar table above with just one row. So whatever is it that I write here, if I apply advanced filter, only that data will be filtered. I have written an article about advanced filter on chendu.org just a couple of days ago. I'm going to place a link to that on this file, so if you are new to advanced filters, go check that out to understand how it works. Now coming back, if I write Matt here, you can see that I have given it a name called Val Salesman, and this entire range is given a name as criteria. Now that is the criteria, and this data set here is given the data name as my list, indicating that this is my list of data. This naming is not necessary, but I just do it out of to keep everything clean and nice. Now what we can do is just select any cell inside the my list, go to data, click on advanced, right? And then what I'm going to tell Excel is, hey Excel, my list range is in that cell B7 through H1086. You can also use the name here, and the criteria range happens to be B3 to H4, so that is this range, right? This range here, and that's criteria. And right now I'm just choosing the option of fill the list in place. By that, what happens is when the filtering is done, the data will remain here, but you can also copy it to another location. So with this, what happens is whatever is the filter output will be copied over to some other range, for example from the range columns L through R. Okay, and when you click OK, you can see that all the records for Matt are extracted and put here. So this is the first part of our technique, to use advanced filter to extract the data for any given salesman. And then what we do is we just iterate through all the salespeople by changing the val salesman to one of the values in the salesman list. So we just do this, extract the data. Once the data is extracted, we copy it, we add a new workbook and paste it there. Now I'll just walk you through the code so you understand how that works. For that, I'm going to right click on the sheet name and click on view code, and I'll just go to the only module we have available. This code is very simple, very straightforward. I have not commented it much, but you can see what is happening. I have some helper macros that I've recorded just to see what's going on. Probably they would have been deleted by the time you download this. So the first line is option explicit, meaning, hey Excel, force me to declare everything that I'm using in this macro. And then I have two variables declared on the top. One is a cell variable, which is what we use to iterate through all the salesman names that are in this range, LST salesman. Now here the splitting criteria happens to be salesman. If you want to do it on monthly basis, all you got to do is extract the unique months and paste them here, and then use that and update that cell instead of this cell. Okay, and current path as the active workbook.path along with the slash at the end. The reason why I'm saving current path in a variable upfront is because we are going to access this multiple number of times in our code, and we would be dealing with more than one active workbook, more than one workbook at a time. So to not confuse Excel or to not change anything, I just want my current path to be in a variable upfront. And we are disabling both screen updating and any alerts. This is just for the sake of keeping the macro very fast, and also disabling any alerts that come in our way in case there is a replacement of a file or something. Okay, now what we want to do is for each of the salesmen in the range LST salesman, so that becomes for each cell in the range LST salesman, first thing we need to do is take that salesman and put him in the val salesman here. So I just write val salesman equal to cell.value. So the first step is update the sales guy. Once the salesperson is updated, we need to run the filter. So we are going to do this range of my list dot advanced filter. Action is I want to copy the filter outputs. Criteria range is in the range of criteria, and I want to copy it to the range called extract, and unique records is false, so just extract out everything. Once the extraction is done, this step kind of extracts everything. I'm just going to select the range, all the values in the range extract, and copy them. So if I say just range.extract copy, only those values will be copied, because I need to have the entire set of values in the extract contiguous values. I'm just going to use this Excel down option. So this tells Excel that select all the cells that are together in the downside and copy them. And once the values are copied, I'm going to add a new workbook. Workbooks.add gives me a new workbook, and I'm going to paste it in the new workbook as it is. So once I add a new workbook, the new workbook's the first worksheet becomes active sheet, and then when we paste, the values go and sit there nicely. Then what we want to do is we want to save that active workbook. So we want to active workbook.save as, and file name will be wherever is the current path currently, ampersand cell.value, which is the salesman's name. So I want to name the file as Joseph, and the format is date, month, year, space, hours, minutes and seconds, dot xlsx, and file format is Excel open XML workbook, which is what the XLSX format is for, and create backup is false. Don't create any backups, just save it at that. And then we just close the active window, which happens to be the new workbook that we just added. Once you close the active workbook, the older workbook becomes active workbook. So then naturally this guy, this workbook, our workbook with break data example, becomes active workbook. And the next step is to clean up this range, right? So I'm just going to select this entire range once again and then write the command clear contents. So the range is cleared, and then we go through the next salesman, next cell. Now once all the salespeople are done, we just re-enable both screen updating and display alerts, so that we are able to see the outputs on the screen. Okay, so the only indication that you get when this program is done is that this cell contains the last salesman. That's the only way to see that, yeah, the extraction is done. Because we have disabled the screen updating, you don't see all the flickering that happens while this thing is going on, but it is very, very fast. You can very quickly see in the folder where it is, and you can see that the files are created. Let us just run this once again and see how it works. Select any, it doesn't matter what you select, just go and click on extract, and you see that Windows is busy running this extraction procedure, and by the end of extraction, our range where extracted cells should be is cleaned up and the extraction is done. You can see that 4 more files have been created, and this one is created at 7:52. That means we have been speaking for about 7 minutes or so. Okay, so that is our latest extraction. It contains the same data. So I hope you like this technique of extracting data and putting it into multiple files using simple macros and advanced filters. Now advanced filters are quite powerful, and they can do a lot of robust and easy filtering tasks. Not even easy, complex filtering tasks also can be done. Go through my article on advanced filters and see how much more you can customize this. For example, you could generate files per salesman per region. So you can have, here we have about 3 regions each. So if I combine that 4 into 3, you will get 12 files. Joseph West, Joseph North, Joseph Middle, Lawrence North, Lawrence West, Lawrence Middle, like that. And you can use those files to do something else. For example, drive some pivot tables or drive some dashboards, or even send the files as an email, things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this small video lesson on how to break data into multiple files. Go ahead and share your techniques and ideas with us using comments, how you deal with such breaking thing. Do you copy paste manually, or do you use some external database like Access to kind of control this breaking and extraction of data? How do you do this? So go ahead and share it with us through comments, and I would like to learn from your experience. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I wish you an excellent day ahead. Bye.